Hey guys, good morning. How is everybody doing today? So Zoe from Travel with Zoe is trending on the internet. Now, I just want to say this to Zoe. I don't think that you understand what an inspiration you is to so many women around the world. I don't think that you understand your impact, the way that you motivate women. The type of freedom that you have is what a lot of us dream of on a daily basis. Like, imagine just leaving your country and traveling the world on a budget. It takes bravery, okay? And that's why you inspire so many women. Because me as a woman, I'd be scared to do certain things. Travel to certain countries or go into some of the places that you actually go into. So we basically live through you and the freedom that you have. So I don't think that you understand why many of us left with our jaws dropped when we saw that music video, because it's distasteful, it's degrading, it's belittling, it's disgusting. Okay? It is. It's embarrassing to watch as a woman. Now, you might think that people should not care what you do, but you put yourself in the public eyes and you are like a role model to so many people. And to watch you destroy everything that you've worked so hard to build because of a tacky music video, I think you need to sit down and rethink some of the decisions that you make moving forward, because this here is not it, madam. This is not it, okay? You just tarnish that image that we all have in our heads of you, you know? Oh, cute Zoe traveling all over the world, inspiring, motivating. No, it's like, what the fuck Zoe be doing? Oh, we don't want to know what Zoe be doing in your private or personal time, you understand? Now, like I said, I hope moving forward you make better decisions, because this ain't it, ma'am. All right? And we can look back and laugh at this here. We're going to feel the exact same way that we feel right now, disgusted, because that's how I felt. Now, please continue on your journey. You don't want to lose sponsorship or whatever it is that you get on these traveling things, because this here would tarnish your entire thing that you're working towards, because now you're no longer this nice decent travel person anymore. And this is going to make a lot of brands look at you in a different light. So please, don't destroy everything that you've worked for because of these tacky videos. These men don't give a fuck about you. None. And maybe you don't know Caribbean men, but they would toss you aside like a used panty, drawers, all right, when they're done with you. And this coming from a Caribbean woman. These men do not give a shit about nobody. They're just using you right now to build viewership for themselves or to build their platforms. They don't genuinely care about you. Now, go on about your travels. Continue doing these videos that is so inspiring. This one here, like I said, is disgusting. All right? Now, go back on the path that you was on. That was the path that you was destined for or destined for, okay? We don't want to see soft porn anymore.
As I was scrolling Facebook today, I came across this story of this woman who alleges that her daughter sold her property and stole her money, and then she was left homeless. When she came back to Guyana, she went on holiday apparently, and then she went to stay by another daughter, and that daughter stole her money and kicked her out. As we say in Guyana, this can be a really dread place. And it's not uncommon to hear of stories where people are fighting over house and land. It's almost like a national tradition. I was really sorry to hear that woman's story, and I saw in the comments there was a great outpouring of sympathies, and people did find that story very heartbreaking. And I thought that I might pivot from that story, use it as a means of discussing a bigger topic with you guys, because I think this is a topic most of us understand, that there is that whole issue of people trying to steal property from each other or get them to sign it away. There's even instances where somebody is on their hospital bed and the relative will come and get them to sign their house away, thinking that they're signing hospital paperwork, right? All sorts of things happen. So this is something that we are familiar with, right? Now, let me tell you what the most easy way it is to, or the most easy way there is to rob somebody of property that I have come across, okay? The most easy way to rob someone of their property or asset is for them to never know about it in the first place. Now, how could that be? There are many Guyanese locally and even abroad that would have had a relative in the country that has no more descendants or no descendants around, or their siblings have passed away, and they're in direct line to inherit whatever property has been left after their passing, but they just don't know about it and nobody informs them. So sometimes these assets have been, this is one of the allegations that has been made against members in City Hall for a number of years, that some of these properties get disposed of, okay? Somebody else will go and pay the tax on it, and you never knew. So imagine your friend coming up to you and telling you, hey, I got this house here, I'm looking to sell. I came into possession of it and I'm selling it for $30 million. And you help them or whatever, they go and they sell the house and they come back and they say, hey, hold this, man. And they give you $100,000. How would you feel? You would feel great. You would naturally feel ecstatic. Somebody give me 100,000. Wow, I didn't have this money before and now I have $100,000. Maybe they came and gave you $200,000. You would be very happy. You would be cheerful. You would be grateful. Anybody that told you, why you sub they make 30 million, you would be say you want grateful, boy. I didn't have nothing. The man come and put 100,000 in my hand or 200,000 in my hand. I didn't have nothing, right? But later on, you come to understand that you were actually the person that was supposed to inherit that property. And your friend, through some corrupt means, is the person that ended up with it. And they sold it. Now, how would you feel about that 100,000? So, let me pick. When you go and buy a new flat screen TV, some y'all handbag, dishwasher, fridge, normally it comes with some sort of owner's manual, right? You go through the owner's manual so you could get the best out of your TV because you are the owner of it. You know it is your possession. I am not going to be using too many images in this video, but I want to ask you guys, right? How many of you honestly have ever gone and searched for the Constitution of Guyana? Now, maybe they should change the name, right? They should change it to the owner's manual of Guyana. Because in the very same way you could be robbed of your property because you don't even know it is yours, many of you find yourself in a similar situation. Even some of you that come online to troll me that don't know why I might be upset about this or that. Here is the source document. Now we're gonna dive into it just a little bit, skim the surface so I could tell you what's important about this document. But this is your owner's manual, Guyana. And if you have not been reading it, how do you know what it is you own? You don't even know what you own. So how could you know if it is being stolen from under your feet? In response to the common lawlessness that is all pervasive in our society, I'm often told Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, no, it wasn't built in a day, nor was Guyana. It didn't just suddenly spring into existence. We have a whole host of laws and acts. Listen, if you would go and sit down and you spend hours looking at a season of Netflix, or you would read a novel, or you would go read a Harry Potter book or something like that, you have some time to read the Constitution. Even if you were to read one article a day and you went through it, this is your owner's manual. It's also why Guyana has such a weak civil society. We talk about the government, people complain, but they don't really always know what they're complaining about, or if they should complain, you just kind of go with the crowd. You have an opposition that sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's weak. I think in this present moment, it's a pretty weak opposition. And then you have civil society. I'm not talking about politicians today, I'm talking about the people, all right? And we are abdicating on our duties when we fail to even understand what it is we're supposed to be participating in. How could you hold a government to account if you're not even sure of what they are supposed to be doing? And it's all laid out in here. So they have, just briefly, because we're going to move on to another image, right? But it covers local government, objective of the political system, goal of economic development, state to foster forms of development, land to the tiller, private property, right of inheritance, the role of labor, right to medical attention and social care, old age and disability, duty to improve the environment, right to housing. How long y'all waiting on your house lot? Right to education. You come down a little bit. Abolition of discriminatory distinctions, national culture, land and the environment, external relations. I'm telling you guys, if you spend a few minutes and you sit down and you read this document, you would naturally start to feel yourself get a little bit upset, because this is a very nice document. The country that this document and others describe is one you would really want to live in. And then you have the tools by which you can hold your leadership to account. Don't base it on propaganda of this politician tell you this or that politician tell you that. When you could see lawlessness before your eyes and you see something is not right with your environment, but you don't have the words to articulate what is wrong, it's because you haven't connected with this. So when somebody comes and criticizes any move and says there is political interference in the public service, right? You don't need to fight that person, because look, it's in the Constitution. Public service to be free from political influence, guiding principles and objectives. How can you critique where we are if you don't know where we have set out to go? Once you start reading the Constitution, you can start to take ownership, because this land belongs to all of us, according to this document. Some people would have you believe otherwise and fight those that are coming to tell you about these same words, because you've not read it for yourself. So you could even see they have a section on rights and the protections you're afforded, but you mightn't even know. Protection from slavery and forced labor, inhumane treatment, from deprivation of property, against arbitrary search and entry, provisions to secure protection of law, protection of freedom of conscience, protection of freedom of expression. How many of you have found yourself under attack for simply trying to speak your mind? How many of you feel fearful to just come online and tell it as it is, because you're fearful that you may be attacked because of your freedom of expression? But it is constitutionally guaranteed to you. So again, you ain't got your papers, you never see them, you don't know you own this, you don't even know what rights you have, what this asset entail. I ain't even get to the state assets yet. And finally, I want you to go and Google the Municipal and District Councils Act of Guyana. If you read two documents, let it be these two that you start with, right? You're fed up of noise pollution in your neighborhood, covered in the act, right? You're fed up of garbage on your parapet, it's covered in the act. Now, what is missing is obviously action. So once you understand, and it's really embedded into you, that we need to all take ownership of this mess, then you can get on your way in encouraging your local government officials. You know who to talk to, because you know who is responsible for what. Right now, a lot of us just running blind, arguing on the internet for no good reason. I wonder sometimes if the poor English scores in this country are deliberate, but let that not be a hindrance to you. So pick up your owner's manual today. It's on Google and it's free.